In the aftermath of a disastrous evening on Tuesday night for Republicans, Trump met with Bret Baier from Fox News to do an interview that put on full display exactly the extent to which he is internalizing the lessons learned from Tuesday and incorporating them into his strategy moving forward.
How do you read last night's election results?
Well, I watched very closely. These are three pretty Democrat states, assuming everything is fair and balanced, as you would say. I thought that New Jersey would do better. I didn't think that Virginia was going to do very well. I didn't think the candidate, didn't really have my support, my big support.
Is that why you didn't really endorse her?
I didn't endorse her, no, I didn't. My endorsement means a lot to me. So I was a little disappointed in the fact that I thought New Jersey would do a little bit better than that. The Cuomo situation, it's just... He had too many things against him. He had a lot of things against him, and Curtis Lewitt tried very hard. But he's been there before, so it was pretty open shot that Mandami had.
Okay, so apparently what Trump learned was nothing. Trump was given the opportunity to show a modicum of introspection, decided to opt the strategy of just pretending everything was fine, and that we simply just write these races off as blue states, which is only undermined by the fact that Democrats also happened to flip 2 statewide seats in Georgia for the first time in more than 2 decades, and they won them both by 25 points. Democrats flipped 2 state Senate seats in Mississippi, breaking the GOP supermajority in that chamber. Democrats retained their 5-2 state Supreme Court majority in Pennsylvania, a state that Trump won. Democrats flipped every statewide seat they ran for and flipped 13 seats in the House of Delegates in Virginia, a southern state with a Republican governor, Republican lieutenant governor, and Republican attorney general. But yeah, other than that, sure thing, man. Let's just chalk Tuesday's results up to blue state results. Got it. And of course, because the fish rots from the head, that pathetic talking point has already worked its way down the line to Trump's obedient little mouthpieces.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue. We all saw that coming. And no one should read too much into last night's election results. Off-year elections are not indicative of what's to come. That's what history teaches us. By the way, it's worthy of note that Zohran Mandami himself only received a little over 1 million votes, 1,036,000 votes. There are 8.3 million residents in New York City. 8.5 million actually is the number, I think. So about 12% of the city voted to turn their city over to the communists. We'll see how that works out.
But hey, if the lesson that Republicans want to take from this is that they don't have to alter course at all, no complaints here. But of course, Trump was given yet another opportunity to show some introspection, this time in response to one of his own voters, and it didn't go great.
She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times, but she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, "I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump." So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this. Beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this. Energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6-year lows now.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it.
See, Regina, you might think that your prices are high, but in fact, they're low because Donald Trump says they're low. So the next time you see your grocery bill, which has been going up every week, just remember it's not higher than ever, it's actually lower than ever. And when you see your electricity bill, which based on data from Trump's own administration has been rising every month, just remember it's actually lower than ever. See, if you simply allow yourself to be gaslit, then everything is actually fine. And the irony, by the way, of this strategy is that telling people the economy is doing well when people's individual finances are not doing well is the exact phenomenon that plagued the Democrats and paved the way for Trump himself to win this past election. So the fact that Trump is now falling victim to that exact strategy is even more hypocritical since, of all people, he should know better. But still, the urge to lie is clearly too strong. And on that point of lying, this one was a hoot.
Saying you're happy with what you came out of it.
If I didn't have tariffs, we would right now, the entire world would be in a depression. Because, that wasn't a threat against us. That was a threat against the entire world. I did this for the world. But yeah, I would say that I can guarantee you this, if I didn't put 100% tariff immediately on China, the entire world, because of magnets, a special kind of rare earth, etc., right? We'd be closed up. Without the benefit of tariffs, we would not. We had a very successful meeting with President Xi of China and others. And without tariffs, that would not have taken.
Trump isn't only helping us, he's helping the world. And look, to his credit, he's half right. The world has benefited, specifically China, Australia, Argentina, and Brazil, all of the countries that took over our customers when Trump imposed tariffs that those countries didn't want to pay. Meanwhile, Americans are left either without customers, as is the case with our farmers, or paying more for consumer goods, as is the case with virtually everyone buying everything. So yeah, there are a bunch of countries that do owe a big thank you to Donald Trump. None of them are the United States. But the next clip is the worst, and I'm going to show it to you in a moment. But first, some very necessary context is that while Republicans were getting shellacked at the ballot box on Tuesday, Trump came out and posted, quote, "Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight." In other words, he needed to diffuse responsibility off of himself. It wasn't his fault. It was actually because there wasn't enough Trump, and because of the shutdown, which again, definitely not his fault. Except that he's been directing all the Republicans not to open up the government. And so now, armed with that knowledge that the shutdown has been a disaster for Republicans, by Trump's own admission, it was responsible for their entire election loss on Tuesday, here's what he said when asked about ending that disastrous shutdown.
Is there a deal that can be made to end this government shutdown in your mind?
Well, I think the Democrats have become radicalized. I think, this never happened before. They always extend. An extension is very easy. It's done all the time. You extend, sometimes you extend 4 or 5 times. I mean, they become radicalized lunatics, actually.
So not only is he decidedly not interested in making a deal, but in fact, he simply reverts right back to the same tired fear-mongering that he employed for the first 10 months of his presidency that Americans are very clearly rejecting. You see, Trump only has one setting. He only knows how to attack. He isn't there to govern. He is there to pit people against other people so that everybody is good and distracted while he makes off like a bandit. Think about it. Trump swept into office amid these grandiose promises of lowering the cost of housing and rent and groceries and eggs, and yet now, what are his priorities? His focus is on building himself a $350 million ballroom, on renovating the Lincoln bathroom in marble, on paving over the Rose Garden, on encrusting the Oval Office in gold, on retrofitting a Qatari jet to the tune of $1 billion paid for by us, on buying Kristi Noem a couple of Gulfstream jets for $172 million, on hosting crypto dinners where he casually doubled his net worth. You starting to catch on? You starting to understand why he needs everybody to be distracted with culture war bullshit about the evil communist Marxist Democrats? Because if his base wasn't distracted, they would be able to very clearly see that Donald Trump does not give a shit about them and is solely focused on himself. The good news is that despite Trump's best efforts, the voters aren't quite as dumb as Trump had hoped.
This as a new poll finds about 70% of Americans say groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago. And about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
And given the state of Trump's answers today, he doesn't seem at all interested in altering course, meaning the results that we saw on Tuesday might just be the beginning of a very good run for Democrats. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.